operational capability of Indian Navy is enhanced, and it is not just enhanced by one warship, not two, but three at this time. Prime Minister has just commissioned 3 new naval platforms in Kolkata, which speaks about how India is ready to enhance its maritime security, how India is talking about indigenous shipbuilding, and how India is going to not only talk about strategic autonomy but also walk it. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to discuss in detail that when we are looking at these 3 indigenous warships, what does this mean not just for Indian Navy but also for the bigger picture of our country's defense and its infrastructure. Now, when we are talking about what exactly has happened, so our Prime Minister was in Kolkata where there has been the tri-commissioning. That means this is a rare situation where 3 warships, 3 naval platforms have been commissioned at once. Now, the 3 naval platforms that have been commissioned, we have INS Agray, we have INS Dunagiri, and then we have INS Sanshodhak. These are the ships that have been commissioned. Now, this is not just a major milestone when we are talking about Make in India. You also have to look at it from the perspective that when we are talking about these ships, the 75% of the content is indigenous. And this is not about stamping what has been done in India. This is also about how this 75% content is coming from 200 MSMEs. Now imagine the impact these 200 MSMEs are ready to create, especially in the defense manufacturing ecosystem, and how they can contribute in the longer term that is about to be unfolded. Now let us try to understand about all of these ships in detail. Now all of these ships have been built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers, but the major marking that we need to remember are these very facts which highlight again with what I started, that we are not just going to talk about strategic autonomy, we are going to unfold it across the globe. Now that we are speaking about individual ships here, let us start with INS Dunagiri. Now when we are talking about INS Dunagiri, this is part of Project 17A frigate. Now before I explain more, let us understand that what exactly is Project 17A, also going by the name P17A. Now this is a 45,000 crore Indian Navy program to build not 1, 2, 3 but 7 warships. Now these 7 warships will be advanced, they will be multi-mission stealth guided frigates which will be created, and INS Dunagiri is part of this very project. The whole idea of designing this project was designed by Warships Design Bureau, and the whole idea of designing it was to ensure indigenous building, 75% of it, Nilgiri class ships which feature the stealth, which feature greater automation, and also very powerful weapon system. So indigenous capability, 75% contribution there, but also advancing our defense capability. So defense manufacturing gets a boost, defense capabilities also get a boost. Now as I mentioned that Project 17A brings Nilgiri Class Frigates. Before this we had a predecessor to this. So can you tell me in the comment section which was the predecessor of Nilgiri Class Frigates? Now that Nilgiri Class Frigates we are talking, we are looking at not just improved stealth characteristics but also advanced sensors, integrated combat management system, but also enhanced survivability and better radar signature as well. And when we are looking at INS Dunagiri, this enables multiple key weapons and systems on this very ship, including BrahMos, including medium range to surface air missiles, MF Star radar, and anti-submarine weapons as well. So what we are seeing here, that we have precision strike capability here present. What we are looking at is anti-ship and land attack roles as well. Then when we are talking about MRSAM, We are also talking about how there can be better interception of things that are coming aerially. For example, drones. For example, air strikes. We are also talking about missile interception capability. And this is where we are seeing that there will be multiple target engagement, long range surveillance, fire control support, and so much more. So all of this enables India and Indian Navy in a context where we will have sea control and deterrence, we will have protection of the sea lines of communication, and this is where INS Dunagiri adds to Indo-Pacific deployment capability that India holds. So we are in picture for carrier battle group protection, long range maritime operations, and so much more. So when we are talking about Indo-Pacific and India being a key stakeholder in this situation, India is not just a stakeholder in terms of dialogue. If India wants the presence, India has the capability to ensure that as well now. Now the next ship that we are going to talk about is the one, now the next ship is INS Sanshodhak. Now this INS is a SVL and this is a fourth SVL, that is Survey Vessel Large. Now you have to understand that this ship, the intent, the mission is to gather knowledge, to understand better. Now you'll ask me what? The seabed, the navigation routes, the underwater terrain, and that is why it has been equipped accordingly with autonomous underwater vehicles, remotely operated vehicles, multi-beam echo sounders, and more. So when INS Sanshodhak is responsible for hydrographic and oceanographic surveys, that means this is the ship which will be studying sea depth, which will be studying coastal approaches. And when we are talking about oceanographic surveys, waves, water temperature, ocean currents, everything would be studied. And this is where it is not only about deterrence and defense capability, it is also about safe navigation. It will enable better submarine route planning, better port development. Coastal infrastructure projects can be enabled based on this knowledge, and this is the one which will contribute to better scientific research. So when we are looking towards INS Sanshodhak, it is going to support maritime domain awareness and the blue economy that we want to develop, because this is going to contribute to the R&D of it, a very basic fundamental if you want to sustain the utilities for the longer future. And this is where it is in exact alignment with India's deep ocean mission. Now moving to the next one, that is INS Agray. Now when we are talking about INS Agray, it is basically a Arnala class anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. Now to simplify this for you, this is basically India's coastal submarine hunter. It will be responsible for hunting those submarines. Now when we are talking about this particular class, Arnala class anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft, this is a program in itself, whole program, and INS Agray is the fourth addition to it. So the whole mission that INS Agray is going to follow is not just to detect but track and also neutralize submarines. And that is why it is equipped with advanced sonar systems, lightweight torpedoes, and indigenous ASW rocket launchers, where ASW refers to anti-submarine weapons, and the rocket launchers have these present, these weapons which are indigenously made. Now, why do we need this? We need this because what we have seen is that the submarine activity has increased in Indian Ocean region. Now, this is where I would like to introduce a very important term here, that is littoral warfare. Now, what exactly is this? Before that, we need to understand littoral waters. Now, when we are talking about littoral waters, basically it refers to the coastal area which is very close to the shore, be it of ocean, lake, and in this context, littoral waters are the area where the detection of submarine becomes absolutely difficult. Why? There is fishing activity, there is commercial shipping that is present, seabed clutter that is present, and also the coastal noise. So this becomes an ideal place for submarines to hide, and often submarines utilize these exact conditions, exploit them to stay hidden. Now that can become a problem to the security, national security. It is going to hinder that. In that context, it is very important that protection of ports, naval bases, especially the littoral areas where the presence of submarines is much more possible, is ensured. So INS Agray is going to do that for us. This is going to ensure port security, protection of naval bases, ensuring coastal surveillance, and this assumes a greater significance, especially if you see that how Chinese and Pakistani submarines increasingly are operating in the Indian Ocean region. So all in all, this tri-commissioning has marked the arrival of Indian Navy in 3 different forays, but in a much more advanced version. And that is why when we look at it cumulatively, we can clearly see that we have presence of 3-layer maritime capability with this tri-commission. We are capable of surface warfare, we are capable of hydrography and oceanography, and that will contribute to research and maritime awareness, and we are capable in terms of anti-submarine warfare. So blue water operations ensured, maritime awareness ensured, and coastal defense ensured. And India here, when we are talking about all of this, is not just trying to mark the presence of these ships. India is also trying to manufacture them. So you also have to see that how this is a big addition to our defense manufacturing ecosystem, because when we are looking at defense manufacturing hubs, defense corridors, can you tell me in the comment section the 2 important defense corridors that have been marked in especially last 5 years? Can you tell me in the comment section 2 important defense, national defense corridors that have been marked by the government? Now this is where we see a direct impact on what? The defense capability with larger messages. This is not only about where India has a better maritime posture, we are countering China's naval footprint, we are enhancing our Indo-Pacific presence, improving surveillance, coastal security, and we are demonstrating the maturity of indigenous shipbuilding ecosystem as well. So in this very context, it is about delivering all of this, but at the same time putting Aatmanirbhar with the real outcomes on the front, where we are seeing that this will lead to reduced import dependence, because if this 75% indigenous content would not have been manufactured here, then we would have been importing, especially in the times where we have seen last turbulent 3 months, very difficult from the perspective of a import dependent nation. This is where we are seeing the indigenous upgrades, learning the technology, advancing, and also ensuring that maintenance and upgrades can be done here only. So when we are talking about this tri-commissioning, as I said, it is not just about one significance of addition of 3 ships. It is about transition, that we are not just a defense importer anymore, we are a manufacturer, and we know, we understand how to defend ourselves as well. Now on this note, I will be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Very easy question. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I will be waiting for your answers. Thank you so much.